Stop. Have you ever felt like you're trapped in a life that isn't truly yours? As if you're reading from a script someone else wrote? Your parents, teachers, friends, society itself? Deep down, something inside you screams a silent rebellion. It whispers that something is profoundly wrong. You wake up, slip on the familiar mask, navigate the day's demands, interacting as if everything's fine. But then the silence descends, and that chilling question cuts through. Who am really? Be honest with yourself, right now. Does that feeling sound familiar? Keep that in mind. As we delve into these profound questions, remember that Think Abyss is your companion on this journey of discovery. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any part of this unfolding exploration into who you truly are. Carl Jung believed this feeling of disconnection isn't just a fleeting thought, it's a blaring alarm bell. It's the symptom of a deep, pervasive problem almost no one dares to confront. Most people drift through their entire lives strangers to their own true selves. They settle for living fabricated social roles, worn-out identities, and the heavy burden of imposed expectations. The brutal truth? They believe this suffocating existence is all there is. They die never having known their own soul. So here's the critical question. Is this happening to you? The self you believe you are, your personality, your desires, your beliefs, how much of it is genuinely yours? And how much was simply etched there by others since childhood? Pause for a second and truly consider that. Since childhood, we've been expertly conditioned to fit in, to be acceptable, to surgically hide parts of ourselves just to earn love. We crafted a mask, what Jung called the persona. It's our social disguise, meticulously constructed to protect us. And make no mistake, we all wear one. If you've ever shifted your behavior between work, home, friends, or even online, you've wielded the power of your persona. Perhaps you're wearing it right now. Is it useful? Absolutely. We couldn't function socially without it. But here lies the profound danger. When you completely become this mask, you begin to forget who you truly are. Think about it. How many times have you said or done something purely for acceptance? How often have you buried your true thoughts, paralyzed by the fear of judgment? How many times have you caught yourself smiling when all you wanted was to scream? I know you felt this. We all have. At some insidious point, the persona stopped being just a role. It seized control of your existence. You became a character, mindlessly playing a part you didn't consciously choose. This is the tragedy. The persona cannot feed your soul. It might bring acceptance, but never fulfillment. It can garner compliments, but not genuine happiness. In the long run, living solely through this mask leads to a hollow life, a persistent feeling that something vital is missing, something you can't even name. And worse, the tighter you cling to this mask, the further you drift from your true essence. Does this resonate? Can you feel that longing for something more right now?
But if the persona is not your authentic self, then who are you, really? To answer this, we must brave the other side of the coin, the part of you that has been systematically repressed, pushed deep into the unconscious. Jung called this the shadow, and this is where the audacious quest for your true self truly begins. But heed this warning, what lurks in the shadow is rarely easy to face. Are you ready to uncover it? Then stay with me. Don't click away now. The most crucial part of your journey awaits. If the persona is the face you show, the shadow is everything you hide to avoid rejection. But here's the crucial twist. What you repress doesn't vanish. On the contrary, it gathers raw power in your unconscious, operating in the unseen corners of your mind. It silently pulls the strings of your emotions, fuels your deepest fears, and even shapes the choices you make without you ever realizing. Does that make you uncomfortable? Good, that's the shadow stirring. Jung described the shadow as the hidden core of the psyche, a vault of everything denied throughout life, forbidden desires, explosive anger, vulnerabilities you refuse to acknowledge, traumas you desperately tried to bury. And here's what's truly unsettling. Many things in your shadow aren't bad at all. They are simply genuine parts of you that, at some point, someone labeled as unacceptable. Think back to your childhood. What did you hide to be good? Perhaps as a child, your vibrant curiosity was stifled, deemed inconvenient, and you learned to stay silent. Maybe you felt the surge of anger, but were taught it was wrong, and now you silently swallow frustrations until they erupt. Perhaps your sensitivity was ridiculed as weakness, forcing you to bury your feelings. Do any of these stories feel like your story? All of it, every denied piece of yourself, didn't disappear. It merely retreated into your shadow, patiently waiting to burst forth. And it does emerge. If you've ever had an inexplicable outburst of rage, felt gnawing envy you tried to rationalize away, or reacted disproportionately to criticism without understanding why, then you've witnessed your shadow seizing control. You know that feeling, don't you? That moment you act out of character and you don't even know why. When we refuse to consciously engage with it, it manifests in distorted, destructive ways, sabotaging our relationships, careers, and even our self-esteem. But here's the liberating truth no one tells you. Your shadow is not your enemy. In fact, it's the fertile ground where many of your most valuable qualities reside. Your raw creativity, your undeniable authenticity, your latent strength. You cannot become whole until you courageously integrate this part of yourself. To do that, you must stop running and start looking inward. But how do you confront something so deeply repressed? How do you bring your shadow into the light without being overwhelmed by it? We're going to show you how.
The answer lies in a central concept of Jungian psychology, the self, or the true self. And that's exactly what we're about to unveil. Prepare for a profound shift in perspective. If the persona is the mask and the shadow is everything you've repressed, then the self is what exists beyond these layers. It's the totality of your psyche, the harmonious fusion between who you authentically are and who you present to the world. Jung believed that the purpose of life isn't merely to follow a societal blueprint, but to become whole, to unearth your true essence and live in radical alignment with it. This profound process of self-discovery and integration is what he named individuation. But finding the self isn't a happy accident. It's not a sudden magical epiphany that simply appears. The self doesn't reveal itself to those unwilling to face the naked truth about themselves. You must actively seek it. And this quest demands a deep, often uncomfortable journey within. It's a direct confrontation with everything you've been taught to conceal, a courageous reconciliation between your most authentic desires and the rigid restrictions imposed by the outside world. Is your courage being tested yet? The biggest hurdle to finding your true self is fear. Fear of shedding the identity you've meticulously constructed for years. Fear of realizing that many of your fundamental choices were never truly yours. Fear of confronting aspects of your personality you've desperately denied. Can you feel that fear bubbling up inside you right now? Recognize it. This paralyzing fear condemns millions to never find the self. They spend their entire lives clinging to the persona, pretending to be something they're not, while their shadow relentlessly sabotages any chance of happiness from behind the scenes. But when you finally begin to integrate your shadow and challenge the masks you wear, something miraculous unfolds. You start to feel a kind of freedom you've never tasted before. You discover you no longer need to pretend, no longer need to constantly please others. You begin to act with profound authenticity, making choices that resonate deeply with you, not just external expectations. This isn't just theory, this is a radical shift in your entire existence. And here's the most captivating part. The closer you get to your true self, the more life itself begins to make undeniable sense.
The anxieties and frustrations that once felt inexplicable suddenly have a clear root. You understand why certain patterns repeat, why specific situations trigger you so intensely, why some relationships inevitably crumbled. You realize that all along, something within you was desperately trying to show you the way, but you were too busy trying to fit in to listen. Does that finally make sense? Is your intuition nodding in agreement?
Yet, there's a vital detail. The path to finding the self cannot be walked in isolation. There's a fundamental, often ignored element in this journey, the unconscious, and the powerful archetypes that fundamentally shape how we think, feel, and behave. If you don't grasp these hidden forces, you will never fully comprehend who you are. And that is exactly what we will explore right now. Are you ready for this deeper dive into your mind's blueprint? The human mind isn't just what we consciously perceive. The vast majority of our psyche operates at a deep, invisible level. Jung believed that to find the true self, looking at our rational thoughts and daily decisions isn't enough. We must plunge into the very depths of the unconscious, for it is there that the hidden, foundational patterns of our identity are forged. But what precisely lies within this unconscious? Beyond your shadow, beyond repressed memories and denied desires, there is something even more primordial: archetypes. Jung discovered that the human psyche isn't a blank slate. We're born with universal mental structures, patterns of thought, behavior, and emotion, shared by all humanity, transcending culture or time. He called this the collective unconscious. From this collective unconscious emerge archetypes, ancient primordial images that profoundly influence how we perceive the world and ourselves. If you've ever felt an inexplicable pull towards certain stories, myths, or symbols, it's because these archetypes are resonating within you. They manifest in fairy tales, movies, religions, and most powerfully in your own dreams and spontaneous behaviors. Think of your favorite stories, your heroes, your villains. They are speaking to you from this deep place. Consider the hero archetype, present in virtually all cultures. It embodies the one who conquers challenges, overcomes obstacles, and seeks transformation. Then there's the wise one, symbolizing profound knowledge and introspection. The rebel who fearlessly questions norms. The caregiver who dedicates their life to nurturing others. Which of these pulls at you the strongest? Which one feels most like home? Here's the most crucial insight. You don't choose which archetypes influence your life. They operate within you, largely outside your awareness. This is key. You're not consciously picking them. The problem arises when you identify exclusively with one archetype and blindly ignore the others. If you see yourself only as the hero, you might feel crushing pressure to always be strong, unable to accept vulnerability. If you live solely as the caregiver, you might endlessly prioritize others' needs over your own, completely forgetting yourself. Can you see how an imbalance might be playing out in your life? Finding your true self means harmonizing these archetypes, recognizing which ones dominate your life, and purposefully integrating those that have been neglected. But how do these archetypes surface in your life? Look to your dreams, your sudden impulses, the recurring patterns that confound you. Pay attention. Your unconscious is always communicating. If you ignore them, you're ignoring essential parts of yourself. This is why so many feel lost. They don't grasp the invisible forces shaping their desires, their decisions, even their existential crises. But here's the ultimate truth. If you remain unaware of these archetypes, they control you. They dictate your behaviors, your insecurities, your relationships. But if you bravely recognize and integrate them, you seize control of your own narrative. Are you ready to reclaim your power? That's the profound difference between those who find their true self and those who spend their entire lives trapped in automatic, unchosen patterns. But what if you choose to ignore all of this? What happens to someone who refuses to look at the unconscious, who resists individuation, who clings desperately to masks and illusions? The answer is stark: the psychological suffering that mercilessly hounds those who flee from themselves. This is the grim reality of non-individuation, which we will now expose. Are you willing to pay this price? What happens to someone who spends their life running from their true self, ignoring their shadow, imprisoned by a persona, and refusing to acknowledge the archetypes dictating their destiny? Carl Jung was unequivocal. Avoiding individuation doesn't shield us, it condemns us. It traps us in a fragmented existence, drowning in anxiety, gnawing frustration, and an emptiness no external achievement can ever fill. Do these feelings sound painfully familiar? Many mistakenly believe that strictly adhering to society's rules and fitting neatly into expectations will guarantee a peaceful life. But this tranquility is a brittle facade. At some point, the cracks inevitably appear. It might manifest as sudden emotional crises with no apparent trigger, persistent dissatisfaction even when everything seems perfect, or even the emergence of psychosomatic illnesses. Your mind and body are giving you signals. Are you listening? Our body and mind always find ways to scream for attention when we stray too far from our true nature. Non-individuation also fuels destructive patterns. Have you ever observed people repeating the same painful mistakes throughout their lives? Entering abusive relationships, relentlessly sabotaging their own successes, or living in a perpetual state of discontent? Honestly, have you seen this in your own life or someone close to you? This happens because when we refuse to address what lies hidden within us, we become prisoners of our own unconscious. It will find ways to express itself, even if it's through profound suffering. Another agonizing symptom of non-individuation is the crushing feeling that we're merely existing, not truly living. It breeds a monotonous routine, a life devoid of purpose, a sense of simply drifting with the current, utterly directionless. Is this your daily reality? This is the tragic reality for millions who have never dared to ask if the life they lead is truly the life they chose. They blindly follow inherited patterns, internalize imposed beliefs, and chase external expectations, never pausing to ask, does this genuinely make me happy? Take a moment now. Ask yourself that question. And perhaps the most insidious consequence of all, resentment. When a person ignores who they truly are, a bitter anger inevitably festers. They might lash out at others, blaming the world, the system, their family, or society for their suffering. Or it turns inward, manifesting as crushing depression, self-sabotage, and a deep, agonizing disconnection from their own existence. Have you ever felt that silent, seething anger that has no clear target? But there is a way out. There is a way to shatter this cycle and liberate yourself from this invisible prison. The answer lies in the courage to confront the truth, to dismantle your own illusions, and to relentlessly pursue individuation. This process is not easy. It demands immense strength, unwavering determination, and a raw willingness to look inward, even when what you uncover is unsettling. Are you willing to commit to your freedom?
And now, we arrive at the crucial culmination. What does it truly mean, in practice, to be yourself? What is it like to live without masks, without repression, without the suffocating fear of external judgment? What happens when you genuinely find your true self? We're going to paint that picture for you. Let's unlock this in our powerful conclusion. Finding your true self isn't a destination. It's an endless, exhilarating process. It doesn't happen overnight, as if you simply wake up one morning knowing precisely who you are. It's a lifelong journey of constant discovery, profound deconstruction, and courageous reconstruction. It's about facing your deepest shadows and finally breaking free from the masks that have been forced upon you. This is your path, not a finish line. And it's a path few choose to walk. Most prefer the numbing safety of conformity. They cling to their personas because they believe that without them, they would be utterly rejected. They fiercely avoid their shadows, terrified of what they might unearth there. They ignore the archetypes guiding their lives because they refuse to admit they aren't as in control as they desperately want to be. Will you be one of the few? But this fear comes at an immeasurable cost, an empty existence, devoid of authenticity, depth, and genuine meaning. Jung revealed to us that true freedom doesn't lie in fitting in, but in boldly becoming who we really are. This means embracing your wholeness, both your dazzling qualities and your inconvenient flaws, both your shining light and your unsettling darkness. Imagine that freedom. Picture your life unburdened. It means seizing the reins of your own life, rather than being a mere product of your environment, culture, and others' expectations. It means abandoning the role of a puppet and fiercely becoming the author of your own unique story. But this path demands raw courage. Courage to release the comfortable illusions that have defined you for so long. Courage to face your deepest fears and insecurities head-on. Courage to accept that you might not be who you thought you were, and that's not just okay, it's liberating. Are you brave enough for your truth? Because now you have the unparalleled opportunity to become someone far greater, far more authentic, infinitely more alive. So I ask you, with unwavering conviction, are you ready for this challenge? Are you willing to question every story you've been told about who you are, to confront the parts of yourself that have been ruthlessly repressed, to finally truly live according to your authentic essence? Answer that for yourself, right now. If something in this video ignited a spark of reflection within you, tell me in the comments below. What part resonated with you the most? Have you ever felt like you were living an identity that wasn't truly yours? Let's start this vital conversation. Your insights fuel our community here at ThinkAbyss, so please share your thoughts and experiences. And if you're ready to continue this profound exploration, make sure you're subscribed to ThinkAbyss and have notifications on for more deep dives into the self. And don't stop here. The next video is crucial to deepening this profound journey and understanding even more about the hidden mechanisms that shape your mind. Don't miss it. Click the link in the description or the end screen to continue this journey. So keep watching, because this incredible discovery is just the beginning.